The words hung in the air like shards of ice, cutting deeper than I ever imagined. "The best thing you could do for us," Isabella murmured, her tone laced with a silky venom that made my skin crawl, "is to step out of our lives entirely." I froze in the opulent ballroom of the historic Willowbrook estate, encircled by elegant silver urns overflowing with ivory lilies, flowers I'd personally financed from my dwindling savings. My gaze locked on my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, her elegant silk gown catching the warm glow of the antique sconces, each sequin twinkling like a distant accusation. In the background, a multi-layered confection of vanilla sponge and fresh berries, adorned with delicate sugar blooms and hints of silver dust, loomed on its ornate stand. Yet another expense stamped with my invisible signature. My son, Marcus, stood motionless beside her, fiddling with his silver watchband, his eyes fixed on the polished oak floor. No word of rebuttal, no flicker of solidarity, just a void that echoed like the deepest kind of disloyalty. A bitter chuckle nearly escaped my lips, though the scene before me was anything but amusing. For over a year, I'd scribbled check after check, bent my principles, and lain awake tallying the scraps I could scrape together, all to launch my only child into a future with the partner he swore was his soulmate. I'd liquidated old family jewels, tapped into the modest nest egg my late husband Reginald had so carefully nurtured, and even surrendered a small annuity he'd set aside for my twilight years. Almost every lavish detail here, the sprawling venue with its vaulted ceilings, the gourmet spreads of seared scallops and artisanal cheeses, the custom veil deposit, and even the initial funding for the sleek townhouse they intended to call home, bore the weight of my quiet generosity. And now I was being dismissed as little more than a shadow, a blemish to be scrubbed from their flawless canvas. I searched Marcus's face for clues. Did he echo her sentiments? Was he mortified, or had he been rehearsing this dismissal in silence, too timid to utter it himself? Around us, attendees swirled in clusters, oblivious to the dagger twisting in my ribs. To them, I remained the gracious matriarch of the groom, poised, affable, ever the pillar. They missed Isabella's barbed whisper, the subtle curl of satisfaction at the edge of her crimson lips. "Pardon," I uttered at last, my tone even, though my heartbeat roared like thunder in my temples. "You heard correctly," she replied, her whisper honeyed yet piercing, sending a chill racing down my spine. "Fade away. That would be your ultimate contribution." Fury bubbled within me. I could have erupted, unleashed a torrent that shattered the fragile peace, demanded the regard I deserved. But in that instant, a different force stirred. Not rage, but a crystalline resolve, unyielding and cool. If Isabella believed I'd slink into obscurity after all I'd surrendered, she was sorely mistaken. And if Marcus imagined his muteness would shield him from repercussions, he was on the verge of a harsh maternal reckoning. I drew myself up, crafting a smile as polished and insincere as hers. Decades as a high school teacher had honed my skill at maintaining poise amid adolescent tempests, steadying the storm while it raged. My words emerged light, almost teasing. "Rest assured, Isabella. My presents are always ones that linger in the memory." She faltered, a rare crack in her facade. "Excellent. Let her stew. Let Marcus ponder as well." As I pivoted away, my image caught in one of the grand gilded mirrors adorning the walls, a woman in her late 50s, with warm olive skin radiant against the sapphire gown I'd selected with such care for this milestone. She appeared unbroken, unbowed. She looked poised on the brink of enlightenment. For in that lavish, scent-drenched chamber, I grasped that this union wasn't solely about Marcus and his bride. It concerned me too, how far I'd allow them to plunder, how readily I'd dissolve into invisibility. The verdict was clear, no further. The string quartet struck up their prelude, weaving a melody of anticipation through the hush. Attendants in flowing pastel frocks darted past with cascades of peonies, servers darted about straightening crisp damask cloths and buffing crystal stems. The elaborate ritual of revelry hummed onward, blind to the subtle skirmish brewing at its core. Marcus at last broke his silence, his words terse. "Mother, perhaps we discuss this privately." "Not here." I nearly laughed once more. "If not this instant, then precisely when?" When they barred me from the townhouse I'd bankrolled. When Isabella severed ties to my prospective grandchildren. When my hard-earned security evaporated into their lavish getaway. Later, suited their agenda perfectly, deferred quiet, enforced yielding, eventual oblivion. Later, cast me as the sidelined extra in their glossy tale. No, postponement was off the table. I offered no reply, permitting the quiet to stretch like a taut bowstring. Let him fidget under its strain. I craved for him to sense, even briefly, the burden of all that remained unvoiced. For what Isabella and Marcus couldn't fathom, what they dared not envision, was that their callous plea had ignited an irreversible chain. My departed Reginald, bless his steadfast spirit, had often remarked, "Vivian, folks confuse your steadfastness for frailty, but cross that threshold, and you deliver retribution with precision." And that evening, amid blooms and fabricated grins, his counsel resonated like an oracle. Isabella craved my absence. Marcus sought my hush. Very well, I'd recede, but not destitute. I clutched my satin evening bag nearer, where nestled amid compact and handkerchiefs were papers Isabella had overlooked. Papers affirming my stake transcended mere benevolence. As the opening strains of the processional melody wafted through the space, I glided toward a discreet alcove exit. None observed. Not immediately. But awareness would dawn. For if Isabella presumed she could obliterate me, she'd misjudged the indelible mark of a true vanishing. And that marked merely the prelude. 7 years prior, I'd laid Reginald to rest. He was the sort who transformed mundane Mondays into feasts of joy. Our bond spanned 3 decades until a swift illness claimed him, abandoning me to the echoing chambers of our cherished bungalow. The ensuing quiet was suffocating. I jolt awake in the wee hours, groping for his warmth, encountering only void. Recovery seemed impossible. Yet I had Marcus, my singular son, my beacon. Nurturing him had been my profoundest honor. I convinced myself that his joy would anchor me through any gale. Marcus had forever been driven, charismatic. In his school days, he captained the soccer team. At university, he pursued marketing, though steady employment eluded him. His visions outpaced his earnings. Nonetheless, he was my heart. Following Reginald's passing, I channeled every affection, vigor, and resource into empowering Marcus to forge his path. Enter Isabella. She was a touch junior to Marcus, yet refined in a manner that commanded glances. Auburn waves framed her features flawlessly, manicure impeccable, grin dazzling enough to veil her reticence. She dabbled in interior design consulting, though tangible prosperity escaped her. What she wielded was drive, a keen eye that appraised rooms for influence and irrelevance. When Marcus presented her, his beam spanned horizon to horizon. "Mother, meet the love of my life." I beamed in return. What choice remained? Yet intuition prickled. Her clasp was feeble, her survey of my cozy den appraising its shortcomings. She praised my apple tart, but sampled none. Still, Marcus was smitten, and post-Reginald, dimming his light was unthinkable. In the ensuing couple of years, Isabella wove into Marcus's existence like mist through fissures. She revamped his loft, ushered him into her social orbit, coaxed him toward her yoga sessions, her artisanal coffee haunts, her realm. Gradually, my encounters with him dwindled. Their betrothal announcement prompted my feigned delight. "The moment has arrived," Marcus declared, arm encircling Isabella. "We're crafting our destiny." That destiny swiftly devolved into my onus. They envisioned a contemporary townhouse in an emerging enclave, airy and upscale. Marcus lacked the upfront capital, and Isabella's kin, affluent yet aloof, pledged only nominal aid. Thus, I intervened. I divested segments of Reginald's investment portfolio, depleted a reserve earmarked for my later ease, and issued Marcus a sum substantial enough to clinch the purchase. "This space is eternally yours, mother," he vowed, embracing me. "Your sanctuary, too." Isabella's grin flashed, all gleam and allure. "Indeed, Vivian. We're kin now." Yet kinship morphs when funds flow. Initially, appreciation surfaced. I joined suppers, scouted furnishings, opined on rug hues. But overtures faded. The spare chamber, my lodging during stays, morphed into clutter depot, then Isabella's design atelier. Proposing a brief visit elicited her sigh. Life's a whirlwind, Vivian. Perhaps another time. Undeterred, I persisted in contributing. When Marcus's vehicle faltered, I covered repairs. For Isabella's lavish pre-engagement soiree, I footed the bill. As nuptial orchestration escalated, my ledger reopened. Sights, menus, blooms, lenses, it mounted alarmingly. My ledger revealed a staggering sum, but Marcus's eager gaze quelled my doubts. Mother, he coaxed, you've been my steadfast ally. This is merely another avenue for your backing. Wasn't that maternal essence, to bolster, to yield, to dispense until barren? So I believed. As the ceremony neared, anomalies emerged. Isabella's folks claimed credit for my funded selections. Cards bore their imprimatur alone, mine absent. At her pre-wedding gathering, she toasted our bountiful circle, omitting me amid the cheers. Revelers savored fine bubblies on my dime, ignorant. It pricked, yet I endured for Marcus, for familial illusion. Until that ballroom instant, when Isabella's barb pierced my illusions. Their desired boon wasn't affection, attendance, or aid. It was my eclipse. Reassembling years of concessions, a sobering insight chilled me. Perhaps I'd been arming for this juncture unwittingly. Each cent wasn't solely forfeiture, it was arsenal. Arsenal I'd unwittingly amassed. The quartet's tune drifted, buoyant and unaware. Isabella preened for snapshots, luminous in finery, while Marcus gazed adoringly, entranced. Yet behind my courteous veil, computations whirred. For if Isabella anticipated a muted retreat, she erred. And if Marcus deemed his quietude a safeguard, he'd soon grasp a mother's eloquence sans volume. Still, one query throbbed insistently, keener than the rest. What shadows did they conceal from me? It commenced with trifles. Subtleties I nearly dismissed as fancy. But verity murmurs before it bellows, and I ought to have heeded earlier. The initial murmur arrived on a crisp Tuesday eve, for weeks pre-ceremony. I'd swung by their townhouse, the abode my funds had anchored, to deliver a parcel Marcus had erroneously routed to me. Isabella answered, her grin strained, posture barring the interior vista. Laughter emanated from the den, masculine, unfamiliar to Marcus. Inquiring of visitors, she deflected, merely a colleague of Marcus's. Business chat. But when Marcus emerged, attire rumpled, cheeks aglow, surprise etched his features at my presence. The next murmur manifested in nocturnal summonses. My sleeping quarters faced the avenue, and repeatedly, I'd spy Isabella's vehicle idling beyond my gate post-midnight. No knock, no ring, she lingered in shadows, device to ear. Querying Marcus come morn, he feigned oblivion, likely decompressing, mother. Nuptials are taxing. Yet I recognize strain from 3 decades shaping young minds, witnessing kin splinter in crisis. Isabella's burden transcended wedding woes. It veiled depths. The third murmur surfaced amid invitation aid. I cherished elegant scripting, so proffering assistance seemed apartment Isabella relinquished a sheaf sans qualm. Yet perusing the embossed cards, my breath hitched. Mr. and Mrs. Harold and Lydia Beaumont joyfully invite you to the union of their daughter Isabella Beaumont and Marcus Harlan. Solely her lineage, no nod to me, no tribute to Reginald, no collective phrasing, nil. Anguish bloomed, but my scriptor held firm as turmoil churned. That eve, confronting Marcus on my exclusion, he squirmed, gaze averted. Isabella favored convention. The bride's side presides. I clamped my jaw, nearly tasting copper. Convention, when I bankrolled the spectacle. Murmurs amplified. During a gown session, I caught Isabella's curt telephony. No, reroute it from that ledger. She audits all. Employ the alternate. Spotting me, she terminated abruptly, resuming her beam. At a kin repast, I tendered my renowned berry crisp, Reginald's delight. Isabella's nose crinkled. She murmured to Marcus, assuming my deafness, that recipe's so rustic. We require sophistication. Each barb, each oversight, piled until denial crumbled. Then arrived the revelation, stumbled upon innocently. I'd revisited unheralded, Wise that advance notice afforded them scripting. Isabella absented, but Marcus toiled in the utility shed, weary, oil-smeared from engine tweaks. "Mother," he greeted, pleasantly startled. For a beat, I glimpsed my nurtured lad, untainted by Isabella's sway. We bantered idly landscaping, skies, till his device vibrated. He peeked, scowled, pocketed hastily. Yet I glimpsed the moniker, Lucas. And the snippet, "She mustn't disco." Link up and on. My gut nodded. Lucas, who? Marcus's flinch screamed secrecy. That night, insomnia gripped, ceiling stared back. Murmurs evolved to declarations. Declarations intimating duplicity, perfidy, shadows eclipsing mere slights. What did Isabella conceal? What withheld Marcus? Recalling her midnight vigils, muffled dialogues, shadowed auto. The den's alien mirth, the veiled ledger. Fragments coalesced, and the mosaic repelled. The query shifted, not if foul play lurked, but its profundity and their audacity in presuming my blindness amid plunder. The pivot arrived on a mundane Sunday midday. I'd volunteered to streamline Isabella's ceremonial files, packs, dockets, supplier notes. She consented with cloying grin, likely viewing it as distraction while she indulged fittings and calls. She thrust folders my way for kitchen perusal. I sifted methodically, banquet tallies, lens packs, adornment bids. Routine outlays I knew I'd underwrite. Then a pristine sheath tumbled free, unrelated to festivities. Header, Beaumont and Partners Legal Suite. Intrigue tingled. I shouldn't pry, conscience chided. But hadn't they rendered me spectral? If privacy mattered, why leave jurisprudence exposed? Scanning, nausea surged. A realty covenant, an addendum specifically, designating Marcus and Isabella as exclusive proprietors of the townhouse, my down payment darling. No trace of my input, my moniker, erased utterly. I clutched tighter, flush mounting, Reginald's bequest, my scraped reserves, diminished to overlooked courtesy. Isabella swept in, device aloft, cooing, affirmative, wire tomorrow. Fret not, he overlooks that vault. Noticing my grasp, her gaze wavered fleetingly, then her mask returned, dull legalese, Vivian. No concern for you. But concern and ire flared. Resolve hardened. I reseated the sheet, visage impassive. She needn't sense my insight yet. Let her fancy me oblivious as I plumbed her machinations' depths. That eve, at my oaken table with herbal tea, I arrayed figures. The abode tallied $350,000. I'd fronted $95,000 initial. Absent me, mortgage denial loomed. Yet here, Isabella schemed excision, as if I'd been transient prop. Verification beckoned, beyond this indictment. Thus, I rang an erstwhile colleague from teaching days, Clara, whose spouse managed credits. Unofficially, I urged, probe this by week's end? Her reply, my name absent from lien docs, not even endorser. Solely Marcus and Isabella? Implausible, I pressed, timbre quavering with ire and hurt. Clara paused. Vivian, tales vary, but purchasers tweak pre-closure. Perhaps streamline sans you. Streamlined. The term seared. My devotion simplified to nullity. I withheld full saga from Clara, but post-call, solitude enveloped. In hush, recollections surged. Isabella's alternate vault illusions, cards lauding her kin. Marcus's phone flinch at Lucas's ping. Threads intertwined. Isabella transcended ingratitude, she orchestrated. Marcus, willing or ensnared, complicit. Neither soothed. Yet more demanded, irrefutable bulwark. Subsequent week, I reappeared feigning pie delivery. While Isabella tinkered in the scullery, I slipped to the den. There, amid periodicals, lurked a dossier, lien files. Pulse racing, I unveiled, duplicates of their credit packs, lender seals, valuation logs, every endorsement Marcus and Isabella's alone. Then, the capstone, Isabella's scrawl on an adhesive, post-seal, she claims zilch. I imaged via device, digits unsteady. Proof. Tangible. Ironclad. Reshelving, Isabella's step sneered. I recomposed, donning her feigned beam. All well? She queried, head cocked, doubt glinting. Naturally, I purred, merely lauding your orderliness. Her grin strained. That night, wakeful anew, ceiling mocked. I held inaugural proof of their effacement bid. But a grander riddle loomed. If they'd filch my stake, what further veils? And why did Lucas haunt like impending tempest? Spotting initial fissure unveils the lattice. Post-discovery, Isabella's acts screamed conspiracy, Marcus's utterances shadowed. I shunned direct clash, matrimony and pedagogy schooled timing's essence. Unveil not till quarries cornered or subjects receptive. Thus, I observed covertly, as monitoring pupil progress for subtle veers. Initial chance, Isabella solicited my escort for linen scouting. Likely to wield my purse if extravagance beckoned. Amid aisles, she absented for a ring. I dawdled by brass accents irretuned. Her timbre hushed, edged, isolated, I instructed. He needn't learn. Post vows, it's ours. Entirety. Chill invaded. Not Marcus, she meant me. Later that span, I bore Marcus his cherished lemon bars. He appeared drained, shadows beneath lids. Fetching saucers, his device hummed countertop. Preview gleamed ere vanishing, Moro dusk. Usual spot. Evade her sight. Lucas. The specter persisted. Visage schooled, innards raced. Lucas, who? Why Marcus's clandestine liaisons? Why linked to Isabella's nocturnal murmurs? Resolve deepened. Excavate. That twilight I net-surfed, commencing Isabella's feeds. Curated flawlessly, each snap idyllic, captions saccharine. Yet trails linger. In a bachelorette backdrop, he appeared, lanky, tailored, proximate to Isabella unsettlingly. Tagging yielded, Lucas Grant, wealth counselor at a boutique agency core city. Firm delved estate maneuvers, lean refits, asset weaves. Gut-wrenched. No mere pal, this accessed fortunes, could reroute streams, forge vaults, twist docks. If Marcus convened secretly too, then either entangled or duped alongside me. Sleepless, Isabella's echo tormented, post-vows, ours. All. Dawn brought outreach to Evelyn Thorpe, a barrister I'd befriended via community choir. Expert in kin and estate codes, details hawk. Vivian, she greeted warmly. How may I assist? I faltered, then unspooled. The upfront, lean voids, Isabella's oddities, Lucas. Evelyn absorbed sans interruption. Post-hail, hush, Vivian, viable recourse, but ironclad needs docs, ledgers, exchanges. Withhold reveal. Ironclad. My quest. I commenced modestly. Visits sharpened scrutiny. Isabella's strewn sheets, unlocked drawers, favored tablet. Routines etched, dawn stretches, midday rings, dusk vintages before screens. One dusk, her satchel toppled accidentally amid aid. Amid spill, a fiscal slip, unfamiliar banner, Marcus's not, Isabella's unmentioned. I skimmed not risk loomed, but logged the mark. Another instance, her telephony hush, he endorsed. Nay, she suspects nil. Post-fortnight sealed. He, Marcus. She, me. Each hint accelerated pulse. My nurtured son, sacrificed for man, either schemer or sightless. Neither eased. Apex, a Friday gloaming, instinct guided. Marcus claimed overtime toil, timbre scripted, like boyhood fibs on truancy. Thus I tailed cityward, stationing opposite Lucas's tower. And there, Marcus and Isabella alighting a midnight coupe, joining Lucas inward. No strife, no strain, grins shared, as co-conspirators in unveiled plot. I idled auto, will gripped pallid. Whispers transcended, motion evidenced. To safeguard self, Reginald's heritage, I required their grins import. For assuredly, it boded ill for me. The trio's ingress replayed endlessly, Marcus's beam complicit disturbing. Queries wouldn't suffice, answers demanded. Thus, I invoked Clara's spouse anew, subtly fetch public logs on Lucas Grant. Realty swaps, ventures, fiscal knots. Days on, his ring, Vivian, suspicions validated. Grant transcends counsel, ties to phantom entities, holdings, consults galore. 1. Beaumont Ventures Limited, names Isabella co-lead. Phone slipped. Isabella and Lucas, associates. Blood ebbed as he persisted. Filings abound yearly. Shared vaults, realty pacts. Long brewing scheme. Chamber spun. Isabella wed not for ardor, part of grander weave, Lucas orchestrating. That night, I delved civic archives online, digits quaking through scans. Confirmation. 2 moons passed, Isabella and Lucas inked a modest flat distant, not Marcus's, not her birth name, but Beaumont Ventures. Why veil co-purchase corporate? Inferences repugnant, Isabella not merely ousting me from Marcus's sphere and stakes. She erected alternate existence with Lucas. But Marcus merited ocular proof. Next dawn, I lured him to tea, duo only, evoking your. I whipped waffles, boyhood style, with maple swirls mimicking grins. Briefly, I fancied him unmarred youth, not Isabella's thrall. Broaching, timbre firm. Marcus, noted oddities with Isabella? This Lucas. Fork halted midway. Lucas aids fiscal tweaks. Why query? Tweaks. I mirrored. Full faith in him? Pause, then nod, absolutely. Isabella deems him genius. Trims costs vastly. Vastly or squanders all. I proffered printed flat packed under Beaumont Ventures. Fiscal aid this? Marcus scanned, pallor rising. Error surely. Public fact, I murmured. Isabella and Lucas co-own a flat. Sans you. Instant, fracture loomed, lips quivered, frame sagged. Then armor. Mother, you misread. Isabella adores me. Adoration veils no flats with others, I countered. Nor ousts the mother who yielded all. He shoved from board, seat grating. You've distrusted her eternally. Hunting rifts from outset. Stings surpassed anticipation, though braced. Marcus, soft, not rending, rescuing. He denied gaze. This tiered. Exit slammed. I lingered, eyeing cooling waffles, saline blurring. Blindness absolute. Isabella ensnared him in her yarn, truth invisible despite proximity. Yet sightlessness alters not actuality. Isabella erected with Lucas. Inevitably, Marcus would tally toll. I must ensure he spared me the fall. For if Isabella fancied unresisted erasure, she'd glean a mother's peril when belittled. Still, one echo outshone. If property veiled, what more? Pawn or peril Marcus? Post-exit tempest, fragility reigned. Marcus's rings curt, scripts abbreviated. Isabella paraded unfazed, feeds aglow with confection trials, gown tweaks, Marcus heart-tagged, veneer impeccable. But I knew undercurrents, flat with Lucas, veiled vaults, muted plots. She presumed unheard. Yet not persisted, true sightless or willful avert. Resolution. One eve, tailing. He'd messaged office linger, phrasing over-polished, nerves jangled. City-bound once more, prior vantage. Hours ticked, 8:45, portal parted. Marcus emerged, companioned. Isabella clung arm in arm. Trailing, Lucas, chortling, palm to Marcus's back like victors. Trio into Marcus's ride. Pulse thrummed. I pursued afar. They veered precincts to glossy high-rise. Not the flat novel. I halted distant, observed ingress. Agons stretched hourly. Restraint snapped. I neared, lobby via exiting courier. Lift sealed, but Isabella's trill lingered corridor. Stairs doubled to auditory floor. Hall end portal ajar. Breath held, eavesdropped. Timbers drifted, Marcus taut, Isabella incisive, Lucas assured, controller incarnate. Post-cert all locked, Lucas intoned. Her funds embedded, abode bound, vaults merged. She powerless. Her, me. Chest constricted as Isabella trilled, precisely. By awareness, belated. Marcus's name ubiquities, liberty to wield as suits. Marcus' voice then, lacerating profounder than Isabella's barbs, splendid. Weary of her dominion. Time she knew station. Lungs emptied. Knees wobbled. No dupe, no blind he schemed. Each yielding, coin, love ounce twisted to presumption, grudge, treason. Isabella's timbre mellowed, soothing prior, fret not love. Imminently ours, abode, vaults, clung bequest. She'll dissolve unknown. Lucas guffawed. Trouble? Docs arm us. Tribunals view her generous fool. Destabilize her portrait. Effortless. Sight tiered, fury propped. Destabilize their ploy. Not seize funds, but discredit. villainize me. I retreated pre-notice, thunderous heart betraying. Stairs, portal, night gasp too sparse. Marcus, my beacon, elected Isabella, Lucas over me. Not elected, plotted. Treason absolute. Resolve mine too. For quiet crumble? Nay. Proof, chronology, forgotten forte, fortitude. That night, home humble I arrayed harvest. Flat-packed, adhesive, pilfered audio via device. Snaps of trio nocturnal. Each shard damning mosaic. Reginald's aura neared. Vivian, mightier than deemed. Bar theft of essence. Tears cleared, posture set. Scheming commenced. Erasure craved? Villainy plotted? Fine. Their creed. While they toasted, I scripted finale. Finale unvanishing me they'd. Slumber evaded. How with echoes. Marcus aligning Isabella, Lucas, deeming me obstacle. Sorrow unfit, expected, exploited. Dawn birth tactic. Evidence amassed, flat-proofing Isabella Lucas by. Adhesive in her script, she claims not post. Call captures, mystery fiscal. Trio ingress images. Apex, apartment audio. Binder bound, tagged pristine, duplicated drives. Pedagogy ingrained precision, now armament. Next, Evelyn summoned. Vivian, firm, fortify fiscal claims. Discreet, swift. Days hence, claim assertion drafted, linking abode to my upfront. Vivian, she cautions soft, sun's ire looms, but shields you. Ire secondary I averred. Shield paramount. Legals alone insufficient. Destabilized plot demanded counter. Trap sprung. Initial. Subtlety with Isabella, feigning fatigue, stress mounts, dear. Seek assurance Marcus secured, abode dual-titled as envisioned. Isabella, arrogant, neared, fear not, Vivian. All aligns. No further burden. Slip, no burden, ejected already. Purse recorder word. Second, fiscal. I halted auto-outs for their utilities. Monthly, arrears pinged. Marcus messaged ire, power lapsed. You pledged post-vows. Long gaze, then. No pledge you presumed. Presumptions crumbled. Third, overt. Church ally, scribe at Regional Gazette, contacted. No spills, mere tease. Fiscal deceit, perfidy, elite nuptial scandal. Scribes crave drama. Not full yield, yet safeguard, sentinel if smear launched. Climax prep, ceremony. Evelyn reconvened. Binder proffered. If vanish they wish, I declared, grant it. Post-verity unveiled. Evelyn queried, Vivian's scheme? Grin hers. Memorable eclipse. Logistics hashed, post-vows legals dawn served. Binder clones to Marcus, Isabella, Lucas, her kin. Pearl locket, Reginald's hid drive. Battlefield reception, eyed arm. Wade agonized. Isabella's grid sparkled, tallies, flutes, drills. Marcus beaming alien. Yet fishers, suppliers rang bounced drafts. Lucas over receipts Marcus strewn. Bridesmaid murmur, unofficial, but Isabella plots post-vows total severance, you, perhaps Marcus. Fuel to blaze. Isabella sought not funds, totality, Marcus's honor too. Perhaps that truth salvaged him. Not my voice, ocular, communal. Calendar circled resolute. Nuptials bind kin, this exposed. Music, toasts, I'd gift unerasing truth, boxed not, enveloped not, truth wrapped. Ceremony morn gleamed azure, mocking serenity. Sun-bathed Willowbrook's greens, winking on crystal and lace. Arrivals finery clad, a buzz, unwitting spectacles twist. I entered mute, indigo silk, locket shoulder pinned, drive concealed. Greetings courteous, Isabella's kin pecked, Marcus cheek kissed. Unsuspected, groom's dam, stately. Nerves wired taut. Rites seamless. Isabella aisle floated, ethereal tool, triumph veiled. Marcus erect, grin rehearsed. Vows, bands, kiss, ovation. Surface idyllic, fragility mind to fracture. Reception ballroom shimmered, sconces, mirth, flows, strings, flashes. MC hailed toasts. Her sire warm, damn teary. Marcus elevated. Mine, stood, locket agleam. Pulse drummed, timbre sure. Marcus' boyhood commenced, Reginald and I instilled love as candor, faith, yielding. We envisioned this, his kin founding on those tenets. Nods, grins, nostalgic awaited. Isabella, Marcus' hand squeezed. Yet oft, tone honed, love mimic veils else. Masked trust betrayals. Disquiet rippled. Marcus knit brow. Isabella tensed. Palm remote pressed. Backdrop screen. Slated for youth snaps. Ignited not infants, but scans. Flat packed Isabella Lucas. Adhesive hers. She claims zilch post. Message caps secret vaults. Gasps swelled. Isabella bolted upright, ashen, cease. But procession. Trio office nocturnal. Her veiled fiscal. Audio climax. Lucas boomed. Cert signed, secured. Her coin in. Abode locked. Powerless. Isabella trill. I. Awareness late. Dissolves unknown. Marcus. Good. Weary dominion. Station time. Hush absolute. Marcus blanched. Isabella quaked. Poise splintered. Attendees gaped. Murmurs tidal. Forward stepped. Gaze firm. Esteemed. This festivity's core. Union not ardor born, but deceit. Avarice. Treason woven. Isabella lunged. Shrill. Falsity. Forged. Unsta. Her echo interrupted. Post vows. Ours. All. Gasps to uproar. Her kin shame veiled. Lucas bar lurked. Exit bound. Fingers pointed. Known. Marcus staggered. Mother. Halt. Explainable. Explain? I queried. Glass keen calm. Conspire erasure? Destabilize portrait? Greed o'er razor. Lips soundless. Room scanned. Quiet drawn. Vanish? Nay. Not son's life. Legacy verity. Claps tentative. Then crescendo. Truth thunder. Not mine for unmasking. Isabella fled. Tool snagging. Shoving stunned. Marcus trailed. Backward fury despair glance. Lucas vanished. Revelry ceased. Equity dawned. Morn after. Hush profound. Device mute postbuzz. No Marcus. No Isabella soul kin. Choir. Unbelievable bravery. Brave? Hollow. Resolve soul. 10 o'clock. Evelyn. Notices served. Abode. Vaults. Claims locked. Untouchable now. Eyes shut. Eased. Gratitude. Pause. Son's pardon slow, but self-guard lets hard lessons. Weighty. Marcus silent. No rage even. Void wounded. Isabella fractured first. Midday yard stormed. Lids puffy. Cold trails. Bride polish gone. Raw fury. Ruinous. Spewed. Humiliation public. Kin. Circle. Marcus. Or Lucas. Interjected calm. Froze. Lips sealed. Nearer. Flat known. Vaults. Liaison. No feign. Truth aired. Crumple brief. Then venom. Victory illusion. Marcus unforgives. Lone. Acrid. Kinless demise. Grin serene. Survived rot. Dignity solitary trumps liar throng. She whirled silk rage. Portal quake. Days. Tales swirled. Attendees buzzed. Yarn wildfire swift. Lucas fled. Legal dodge rumor. Isabella parental retreat. Dream dashed. Marcus weak plus air porch. Eve late. Lids roar-rimmed. Frame bowed. Aged. Fractured. Mother. Hush. Words fail. Portal ajar. Unyielding. Then heed. Nod. Saline-cheeked. Soft firm. Betrayed. Marcus. Not coin trust love. All yielded. Erasure sought. Scar endures. Head hands dropped. Foolish. Believed Isabella's love. Yours eternal. Whatso? Core truth. Unconditional misread as boundless pardon. Love bars not ruin. Gentle. Ian kin. Long quiet. Night dense. At last. Redemption path? Gaze true. Still son. Nurtured boy. Yet greed chosen man. Yours decides. Averred. Not mine. Yours. Departed soon. Shamed unsure. Change unknown. But choice weight lifted. Freedom first in ages. Months on, I relocated to verdant enclave outskirts. Quarters trail viewed. Dawn walks tree shaded. Breaths deep, unburdened. Book circle joined. Canvas passion unearthed. Clinic volunteer resumed. Life reborn. Post garden meet. Porch iced brew. Neighbor widower. Thomas sauntered. Wave laugh. Yarn swapped. Post Reginald, spark rekindled, hope. Twilight, sky roseate, to Reginald's shade, accomplished. Safeguarded ours. Self-reclaimed. True boon, not reprisal, equity, empowerment. Betrayal outstrong, guile outwise, respect earned. Kin not bloodbound, heart revered. Greatest self-gift, refusal to fade.